and a bro fist to you all, you bright, shining, superstar, lovely, lovely people. Welcome to the Daily Preach, the only daily that matters, and I thoroughly believe that. And it is Workshop Wednesday. It is, of course, Workshop Wednesday, and we're going to be looking at a couple of players. One we've seen before. He was a hunter. If you saw last week, you'll know who I mean. He's back. And we're going to be looking at a Fury Warrior today as well. And we're going to be discussing quite a big topic that's not really based around that. It's not really based around the Fury Warrior. Sure, we're going to help the Fury Warrior. That's okay. But we're going to be looking at a bigger thing, which is kind of the theme of today, which is Bloodlust. Bloodlust. Very undervalued spell. People are using it wrong all over the place, and people just generally not realizing how awesome it is. But before we get into that, there has been a significant change to the way you can contact me. Now, due to the fact that most of the internet, and I do not mean this overly offensively, is incapable of following simple instruction. That's just life. If you saw some of the emails we get, you would agree. Our email addresses have changed. But the Gmail account, which most of you email, which is preachgaming@gmail.com, still exists and will continue to operate for the next 6 months or so. But all emails from there are redirected now. preach@preachgaming.com. That's how you reach me. Ghost@preachgaming.com. That's how you troll Ghost. Mrs. Preach@preachgaming.com is how you troll my fiance, because a lot of you send nice little things to her. Of course, sending offensive things will get you banned, but that's okay. Is how to contact her. Genji@preachgaming.com, and of course Delore@preachgaming.com for all your Minecraft stuff. A lot of you guys playing the Minecraft servers, Feed the Beast, as I'm told, can contact him via that method, okay? It's pretty cool. On top of that, there are things like Workshop and Drama@preachgaming.com, but I expect that that is too much information right now, and nobody will email it yet. So we'll try and force that in the next 3 months or so. Gradual process of changing email addresses. Very tricky. But if you wish to reach me directly, preach@preachgaming.com is the best way at doing it, because it comes directly to my desktop and I don't have to check things like Gmail, which is awesome. Okay, on with the workshop. We're going to be looking again at 2 workshops today. I did have a lot of workshops. Some of them, let me tell you this, when you upload things to YouTube and you don't want any of your friends to see it, there are 3 options for YouTubing. Private, public, and unlisted. Unlisted is what you need to set it as. If you set it as private and send me the link, I can't see it. I have a lot of workshops that I can't watch. Which is all great because you send me a bunch of notes and things like that, and I just can't watch them. I can't see them. It just says this video is private. Oh, okay. Well, that's really cool. Thank you very much for taking the time to record it and send it to me and all that cool stuff, but I can't actually watch it, which is really terrible. So we're going to be looking at a Fury Warrior and a Hunter. Now, the Hunter is somebody we've seen before. We were actually really confused as to what the problem was. I couldn't work it out. And he replied, and he sent a bunch of notes along with it, and we're going to be taking another look and see if we can actually do a good solid workshop on him. But we also have a Fury Warrior who's just generally wants to increase his DPS. Now, when I was watching this, a few things popped up to me that were relevant overall. So we're going to jump kind of straight into this, and I'm going to open this bad boy up. And of course, as always, when we first start a workshop and we look at a player, we look at that UI. Do we like it? Do we dislike it? Is there anything noticeably wrong with it that we think is causing us a problem? So let's jump into that. Ooh, hello. And off we go. Okay, there is our warrior. Kicking ass, taking names. Kicking some ass and taking some names. Now, the notes that came along with this is, dude, I just generally want to increase my DPS and my AoE DPS. What can you see? What can you see? Well, let me know. Let me know. What do you think of this UI? What do you think overall? Nice UI. UI is good, says Bonky. Tejernus agrees. Nice UI. Vudak says, cool. Bad fight for AoE. I agree. I agree. Not a bad UI. I like. I totally agree. I totally agree. It's actually a nice UI. I think it's actually pretty damn cool, and I'm fine with it. What I am going to talk about now is something that bothered me a lot. I'm going to take us back. Okay. Can anyone tell me what's kind of going on? Something kind of interesting is happening, and it's justifiable, kind of. kind of. There's a problem here that I had. Notice the health of the boss, 84%. 84 behind the boss. We'll get into that shortly. I'm talking more about the actual raid. It's kind of the theme of what we're doing. Let me just get on with this because it's going to be kind of a large discussion. Okay, so he's been bloodlusted. He's got sated. In fact, the fight very initially starts with the bloodlust on. He has bloodlust on, but again, what we can see here is cooldown saved. Why is this happening? Why? Why is this happening? There is a reason this is going on, and it's a reason that can fuck you up, really. Okay, there's a reason that can fuck you up, and this is kind of a raid leader problem, and it's also a kind of being too nice problem. Okay, nice. Yes, he's keeping cooldowns for the platforms. That's what he's doing. He's keeping cooldowns for the platforms. Now, using Bloodlust with, if you're requesting your raid, I'm going to tell you the honest truth now. As you get better and better players, asking them to do things like not blow cooldowns at the pull, especially during Bloodlust, not to cheese DPS on ads, becomes less and less viable as a request. Continuously. Especially when content is sort of on farm, okay? If you've got really, really good DPSs, and this sounds contradictory, I know, it sounds really hypocritical. If you've got very, very, very good DPSs, they will tell you to go and fuck yourself at things like don't pop cooldowns while we're under Bloodlust. Okay? Don't cheese DPS on the ads. They're going to do it. They really are. Especially on farm content. They're going to fuck you up. They're going to ignore the crap out of you. And you know why? Because they think they know better than you. You know why? Because sometimes they do. If it's wasted DPS, then you're in the right as a raid leader. But if you're going to say things like pop Bloodlust and then say save your cooldowns, you're kind of slapping a wet fish. Alright? You're kind of just wasting your time. Yeah, don't cheese. No, don't cheese. Now, you can see this reflected pretty easily. Let's assume in this raid that the raid leader has said something like, hey, save your cooldowns for the platforms. Seems kind of reasonable. Those are the things that we definitely need to get killed so the DPS and mainly the tank can get back in the action for the boss. Sounds reasonable as a raid leader learning this fight. And then we pop Bloodlust. Look at the damage meter. Can you tell me who obeyed that order and then who didn't? It's pretty damn obvious, in fact. Some people did do that. Some people didn't. Okay? And that's what happens. That's what happens right there. And you kind of feel bad for our warrior because our warrior is being a good guy. Our warrior is being a good guy. The other guys are saying, fuck you, buddy, because you're bloodlusting. Y'all don't go around bloodlusting and expect me not to blow my fucking wedge. Okay? I'm going to spunk all over this boss, of course. And there's a significant difference there in the DPS that's gone on. As you can see, Hunter, Warlock, Paladin, for fucking sure. Paladin for sure. And the Shaman. The noticeable DPS difference right there is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Now, you're telling yourselves right now that those four are in the wrong. Not really. Not really. Raid leader made a bad decision here. Bad call. There is an idea going on here that this fight is longer than 10 minutes and we can Bloodlust twice. That's fine. Bloodlust is literally the most powerful spell in World of Warcraft, without question. And the way raid leaders think about Bloodlust is a major part of being a good raid leader. Because Bloodlust does a lot of things to a lot of players, and some of it quite naturally. Okay? If you're going to Bloodlust me, I'm telling you now, this is from years and years of being experienced and pulling top DPS. If you're going to Bloodlust me, I'm popping my fucking cooldowns. You know why? Because I should. That's why. I should. I should be. Absolutely. If you're going to use a Bloodlust, I'm popping my cooldowns. In fact, I'm saving my fucking cooldowns for when you Bloodlust. I am. And I should be doing that. You know why? Because that's how the game works. And it sounds kind of... Let's think about Bloodlust in a way. And this is going to allow you to think about how you determine your DPS cooldowns, because people struggle with understanding Bloodlust. Let's assume something right now, okay? We've taken our raiders, our raid team, our 25 raiders, and we have taken them to a training dummy. Okay? We're doing a DPS test. Let's just assume this situation is occurring. What is the best time to Bloodlust in that situation? I'm interested to know. There's a few different things where Bloodlust is amazing, and outside of these windows, we'll call them, outside of these windows, there are really, really bad times to use it. Really, really bad times to use it, where it's absolutely fucking terrible. At the start, okay, let's assume the training dummy can be killed. Let's assume the training dummy can be killed. At the start is generally a good time. There is a better time. There is a better time. Assuming the training dummy can be killed. Yes, Bennix, 20%. Absolutely. Now there's some problems that run into this, because it's generally preferred to Bloodlust a few seconds in. 5 seconds into a fight is the best time in general. Does anybody know why that is? Okay. Given a situation of a block of fucking cheese that we can kill, that has a shitload of health. Let's say we can kill it in about 10 minutes. Why is it better in general to do it at 10%? Procs, no, because we can line our procs up again at 20%. We can line them back up. There are windows when it's good. In fact, about 9 minutes is perfect. 9 minutes is perfect. Aggro, no. Opener is huge, but we can repeat it. We can repeat it. Every fucking Genji, I fucking love you. That's why he's my baller, and that's why he can be contacted at genji@preachgaming.com. If we're fighting a boss, okay, maybe the block of cheese was a bad example, but if we're fighting a raid boss, the reason it is generally better to Bloodlust at the start is we can guarantee one thing that we certainly cannot guarantee in the 20% phase. Every motherfucker is alive. We can guarantee that shit at the start of a fight. We cannot guarantee that at 20%. We can't guarantee it, and therefore these people dead, we lose DPS there. We want the whole raid to be buffed. If you look at a world of logs of a top raiding guild, someone in the top 20, maybe even top 10, watch the graph of DPS and you will see perfectly when Bloodlust is cast, because the DPS doesn't just increase, it does a giant pointy witch tit. Okay? Sometimes you've got a Kristen Stewart tit. Like that, right? And then sometimes you've got a big fucking Pamela Anderson motherfucker. Like that. And that is the difference between the better guilds. That is the difference between the better guilds. Because those guys are not only... Everybody in the raid is lining up their cooldowns to do it, but they're also knowing this Bloodlust is coming. They're lining... It's just all working together so beautifully. Okay, having said that, when are the worst times to Bloodlust? Well, it's kind of an open-ended question. There are windows to Bloodlust, okay? There are windows to Bloodlust. Given that, let's give two certain situations. One, the boss does not take increased damage at any point in the fight, in which case you want your Bloodlust then, duh. I wish I could put this question to you, but I don't think people will get it straight away. When increased healing is needed. A brilliant raid leader understands that Bloodlust helps the healers just as much as it helps the DPS. Just as much. And ideally, it all lines up nicely. Beth Tilak is a great example of this. Beth Tilak. Towards the end of Beth Tilak, there is the increased moment of huge amounts of damage on the raid, and it lines up with an execution phase. It is a Bloodlust dream. Okay, a Bloodlust dream right then. Because not only do the healers need that increased haste, but the DPS can also kill the boss faster and get us out of that phase very quickly. Those are the two things that alter when we can effectively Bloodlust. And that's about it. Does this thing take increased damage for whatever reason, being an outside source like the tiles on Stoneguard, something like that, or do the healers really, really need it right now? If it's something like that, then that's what alters our Bloodlust timing. Outside of that, Bloodlust is determined by one thing only, raid leaders. It really is. Bloodlust is determined by this entire thing. Okay? Does anyone know when it is? It's very easy. Every single raider has it. Everybody should know. Because you use them all the time. You use them every fucking day. You use them all the damn time. Not a burn phase. Nope. There are windows. Specific times. Specific times. Okay? That Bloodlust works. Outside of these windows, it's a fucking waste of life. And I mean that as genuinely serious. If you're Bloodlusting outside of that kind of window, you're fucking your raid. You're just fucking yourself. You're fucking your whole raid group up. I'll tell you, every 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes, you have a 30-second window, pretty much, to Bloodlust. That's it. Outside of those, you shouldn't be Bloodlusting. Unless there is something in this fight that demands it. Every 3 minutes. That's it. Every 3 minutes, because that's when most of the raid has its major cooldowns. You can Bloodlust at the start, about 5 seconds in. You can't Bloodlust that. If you miss that window, seriously, if you are in control of Bloodlust, do not be that guy who's like, oh, we haven't Bloodlusted yet, like a minute into the fight and goes, well, let's Bloodlust. No. Fucking asshole. You are just wasting your time doing that. Every fucking 3 minutes. Because that's when the major cooldowns are all up for everybody. And that's when it's a good time. Things like Skull Banner come back, we have Stormlash, whatever it might be. And it's all good times for the majority of the raid. And everybody can sync up around that. Once your raid realises that 5 seconds in, I'm popping my cooldowns, because that's when my trinkets are up, I've still got potion, I'm going to have a good time. If you don't Bloodlust then, you're not going to Bloodlust again for another 3 minutes. If you don't do it in the next 3 minutes, you're not going to do it for another 3 minutes. And if it's a 10-minute fight, it's not until like the 9-minute mark, when we're at the execution phase, that you then go into Bloodlust. You have to understand how powerful this is. Using Bloodlust outside of these windows, unless that boss takes increased damage for whatever reason, is a fuck-up. A massive fuck-up, because it's just... buffs are stacking. Buffs are really additive. They multiply off each other all the time. You want somebody with mega DPS cooldowns who's also Bloodlusted. Because that's when DPS goes from Kristen Stewart up to Pamela Anderson. And everybody wants Pamela Anderson more than Kristen Stewart. It's science. It's just fact. Even now, she's old as fuck. Still get it over Kristen Stewart every day. And so this makes me sad. So a couple of things here. You're going to get fucked if you do this. I understand raid leaders out there, especially the most stringent guys, like, do not blow your cooldowns. Okay, save them for the platforms. All that's going to happen when that happens, especially if you Bloodlust, is the guys who are generally kind of I side with them. If you're going to pop Bloodlust, I'm going to use my cooldowns. I am, because that is the best way for me to take advantage of this situation. It is. And you come to me at the end and say, like this warrior has done here, I want to increase my DPS. Yeah. Blow your fucking cooldowns at the beginning. Do it. Because otherwise your DPS is all goofed up. It's all goofed up. Let's try and imagine it like this. I tell you to pop all your cooldowns together because they multiply and multiply and multiply. They go really big. That works on a raid-wide scale. Okay? If you've got some people popping cooldowns here, and then it tapers off, and then you've got some cooldowns here, then you just got this nice sort of undulating dune of loos. If you've got everybody doing everything, we've got Mount Everest, and the boss is going to get his ass kicked, okay? The decision goes one way or the other. If you want everybody to save cooldowns, either really punish them, or you accept the fact that they are actually doing something clever. They are, by doing this. It's fact. Okay. Let's go after that fucking rant. Yeah, not fucking Wingwalk amongst Tiger Eye Brute bullshit. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Okay, that's funny. I like that. Good man, Mogafogger. Good man. Okay, so we're getting to this. Okay, first things first. Yeah, it's pointed out at the start of the video. You're doing something which you shouldn't be. You're DPSing from the front. But what about Breath of Fear? It's on a fucking timer, bro. Alright, it's on a timer. You can see the timer pretty clearly there. You can get back in with 1 second to spare. Nice and easily. Get your ass behind that boss. Get behind it. You want to live behind it. You want to be living in the enemy arse crack. You want to be there. Got to get inside the enemy arse crack at all opportunities. If there's something that forces you to be in front of the boss, you go to the front of the boss at the very last possible moment where you won't die. Remember, being a really good DPS means you kind of live life on the edge, Austin Powers style. You need to live dangerously. You need to push what you can do. Safety first. A dead DPS is useless. But you've got a timer, nice and safe. Get behind the boss. Get behind there. Don't get parried. Loss of DPS. Everything sucks. Don't want to do that. Can I point something else out to you? This is another thing people question me about, is when should I pop cooldowns? I kind of did a video with all your cooldowns popping up, like we've got here, and tell me when and stuff like that. If you've got a 5-minute cooldown, let's say you're a warrior. Let's say we've got the old Recklessness, 5 minutes, right? It's a 10-minute fight. How many times can you use Recklessness in that time period? How many times? Right, a little bit of got to do something. 3, no. 2, yeah, you can use it twice. If this fight lasts 10 minutes, you're not going to be able to use the last one. You're going to use it 5 seconds into the fight. Most important question then. This is where you guys should be thinking about. This is what... It's so important that you guys understand how long a boss fight lasts. Big rule about being the top DPSer. How does my class work? How does the boss work? How can I put them together? When do you use those recklessnesses? First one, 5 seconds into the start. When do we use the next one? I want the time that we use the next recklessness. No time. I want the time. Time or percentage, I guess. 6 minutes? No. Nope. Not 6 minutes. Execute phase, 9 minutes. Execute phase, yes. 10-minute fight. Last minute is likely to be in the 20% range. Also, Skull Banner comes back because, of course, you use that on cooldown all the way through. All your other cooldowns are up. 9 minutes. You have 2 recklesses to use. The best time to use them, right at the start, 9 minutes. Start thinking about your cooldowns in terms of how long does this boss last. One of the most difficult things right now is which DPS talent is better. Okay? If we take a cooldown that is 1.5 minutes long, okay, and then another cooldown, let's say our talents, a lot of your classes have these talents. We have 3 talents to choose from. One of them is 1.5 minutes cooldown. The other one is a 3-minute cooldown. Obviously, the 3-minute generally does twice as much as the 1.5 minute, but overall they equal out within reason. Which one's better in general? Something very easily that we just talked about determines which one's better. And it's generally coming down to this now. The long one? No. The 3 minutes? No. Not really. Not always. And you know why? Because sometimes you can use the other cooldown more. Sometimes you can use the other one more. And that's what fucks people up at right now. That's why you'll see certain people that you'll follow in your armory doing different things. Oh, he has that cooldown. I'll spec into that, and now I need to do it. Okay? I'll spec into this ability, and then I'm doing what this guy's doing, and he's best in the world, blah, blah, blah. And then you armor him again, he's got a different cooldown. A lot of the reasons this is happening is because you can use Blur more, because the fight is working out that way in length, so you get more uses out of it, so it actually works out better. It's kind of an intriguing prospect, and a lot of math is going on right now with trying to determine which fights suit the best talents. Doesn't happen for everyone, don't panic. I don't want everyone to start scribbling down how long your boss takes or spamming World of Logs, not that that's a bad thing to do. But you should bear in mind that these kind of things are now a factor in the game. If Blizzard is trying to balance all our DPS talents to be relatively equal, not saying they always are, the thing that actually becomes the determining factor is how long does the boss fight last, because I get extra cooldowns if I do this. It's a pretty interesting idea. I like it anyway, because I'm a bit of a nerd. Let's face it, we're all nerds, right? Want to do my deeps. Gotta do those deeps. Gotta do those deeps. Okay, so we're well aware, our warrior friend here, first things first, get behind the boss, and of course, blow them cooldowns, friend. You're actually doing very nice DPS for someone who hasn't blown anything other than Bloodbath and Dragon Roar. By the way, I don't know if a lot of you know this. I know a lot of you macro it together. Bloodbath and Dragon Roar don't work together, just so you know. Okay? I know a lot of you Bloodbath and Dragon Roar together. Not that that's a terrible thing, because they line up really nicely, but Bloodbath isn't affected by Dragon Roar. I didn't know if you knew that. I didn't know if you knew that. Which is pretty cool. So we end up with this shitty job of going and killing these things, which kind of sucks. Now, one of the major problems we're going to see in this is something that a lot of Fury Warriors run into, but I'm not going to talk about it just yet. I want to go to 220, when we get dragged our ass over to here. So we come over here, and we're in, and oh, there we go, finally. Now look, we're 2 minutes into the boss. Finally blowing them cooldowns. Finally blowing them cooldowns, kicking some ass and taking some names. All good, no big deal at all. Now, something happens here, which is, it's kind of one of them things that sort of separates the men from the boys. I'll see if you can see it, actually. I like giving you guys pop quizzes today. It's pretty interesting. I like the interaction. It's making you think about what you should do with your classes. I know a lot of you don't like thinking. He's doing something that is a DPS loss in the most trivial of ways. Oh, Mug's got it. Yeah, backpedaling. I kind of see why you did this, because it's just behind me, so I can backpedal my ass to it. Okay, got it, and then I can scrunch your ass back to the boss. Why is that? It's such a trivial DPS loss, but it really fucking annoys me. Why? Why is it a DPS loss? I've done a video about this and proved it. I proved why it's a DPS loss. Come on. It's slightly slower. It is. It's infinitesimal. It's so... and I hate seeing it. This is one of the reasons backpedaling should be like removed from the game unless you're a tank. Backpedaling as a tank is fine if you're positioning the boss. Obviously, you're not moonwalking up to the boss. But backpedaling as a DPSer, no, 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 no. Don't do that because that's a DPS loss. Because you do this. Instead of just going like this. This is strafe. You got me? This is strafe. This is backpedal. Okay? I made it clear enough. Strafe all the way over there. Backpedaling, no good, okay? Let's not do that. Let's do that. It's not that backpedal. Don't like that backpedaling. Also, the boss does move around quite a bit, but be aware of where he is. You should be spinning in a fucking circle here to make sure you're trying to stay behind as much as possible. Wonderful little DPSer. Wonderful little way. I love this nice little dive out. Please note, again, there's a ton of things in this video that are just like little DPS failures. Okay? And these are all adding up over the fight into what's causing you to have generally lower DPS. Things like Death Blossom, of course, we have to avoid. We have to get the hell out of there. But we also have this time for when Death Blossom ends. Everybody can survive one hit of Death Blossom, right? They can. Living life on the edge. Being a little bit of a twat is kind of okay. It's kind of okay. Let me move that over there. Yeah. It's kind of okay. You should be getting back in as soon as humanly possible. All the time, okay? Always back in. So you can see Death Blossom ends and you're still hiding like a girl. You're a warrior. You're a warrior, man. Get in there and take some fucking names. Bring this bad boy home. Bring it fucking home. You're a warrior. The only thing that I really got out of this is you haven't got the will to succeed, my friend. You haven't... How... We talked about this when we talked about the Brawlers Guild. As a warrior, and you're doing the Brawlers Guild, you smash your face into the wall, okay? Hardcore. You smash your face into the boss, but then you wipe. Didn't kill it. What does a warrior's plan... What is the next plan of the warrior? If you were a warrior, you go into the Brawlers Guild, and you attack the mob, and it kills you, what is your plan? There is a very obvious plan. Firestar's got it. You smash it harder. Being a top DPS warrior, you have to be one bloodthirsty motherfucker. Okay? You're going to take no prisoners. You're going to get in there. You're going to suck things in the face. And you're certainly not going to sit through an entire fear with berserker rage in your face. Alright? The biggest tip I can give you to be a DPSer right now is if you're playing a warrior is you need to get angry. You need to get mean! If we go dodgeball way. You do. You actually need to want to kill this motherfucker. You need to want to let him bleed, baby. Get in there. Don't sit out. You saved your cooldowns for the pillar. Nice guy. You sat this fear out. Maybe I need it later. Nice guy. You stayed out clear from Death Blossom. Nice guy. Warriors are not nice people. Fact. Good warriors are not nice people. Nope. Never met a nice warrior in my entire life. Ever. Including myself. When I was playing a Fury warrior, fuck you. Want me to do this? Fuck you. Warriors are not nice people, okay? Get angry. Get mad. You're a warrior, damn it. Fucking act like it. Get in there and kick some ass. Take some fucking names. Having said that, we move back here and then we run into one of the actual main gameplay tips that I can actually help you out with. Is sitting on that bloodthirst. You can see it in the bottom left. I'll just rewind that as to how long we're actually sat on bloodthirst. It actually makes me sad. We're at 3 minutes and 10 when we get here. Bloodthirst is the bread and butter of everything that we're doing. It really, really is. Using things like Raging Blow while not under the effects. We're just a bit spammy is the main problem with your gameplay. Main issue with your gameplay is you're very spammy. Like, you've got your 4 buttons, which are all, you know, the kill things button, and you're just very little spammy, not thinking about what to do next. You might be a bloodthirsty Conan the Warrior, Barbarian, Destroyer, and etc, etc. But we're also thinking about what we're doing. Colossus Smash, ginormous DPS increase. If we have 2 buttons, which are Raging Blow and Colossus Smash, ready to go, we Colossus Smash first. Because it's a huge DPS increase. And you're just a bit spammy. And as such, you miss things like Bloodthirst continuously. And you sit on Bloodthirst just waiting there, which is what leads us to Enrage with more Rage. And it just gives us more and more and more and more. And it just rolls like a big fucking meatball of death. And then ultimately you're going to start seeing some really big DPS, okay? If you're struggling to keep Bloodthirst on that cooldown, make a tell me when for it. It's always handy to do that. You're doing all the right things. You've got everything tracked. You're being too nice. Serious, you're being too nice. You don't want to do that. I did think maybe you were going to Bloodlust again at the end, but I skipped all the way to the end, and Bloodthirst has got 24 seconds on it. 5, 4. So I was hoping, for the love of God, we are at 40%. Perhaps he's saving it for the execute phase because the video does end here. I think he said it was a wipe, which is cool. But there's still a nice window there to get 2 Bloodthirsts in and have all cooldowns up by the execute phase. It was pretty clear you didn't actually need to save the DPS cooldowns really for the platforms. It didn't seem to me that you needed to do that, especially considering that, well, let's face facts, half your raid didn't do it, right? In fact, like 5 of your DPSs out of what, 6 didn't save their DPS cooldowns. You did, and the other shaman did. Nobody else did, okay? You don't need to be doing that. So either talk to your raid leaders like, well, I don't really need to do this. Or just quite frankly, blow all your fucking cooldowns and see what happens, right? And see what happens and kick some ass and take some names. But generally, it was okay. Your gameplay's fine. A little bit not aggressive enough, I would say. A little bit not aggressive enough, especially things like Blood Fury, which are on shorter cooldowns. You could at least throw Blood Fury in there. I know you're expecting maybe I get teleported first and I'm going to need these cooldowns. But as soon as you see the other people get teleported, at least use the Blood Fury if you're determined to keep your cooldowns. See that? Oh, okay, I'm Blood Fury. And all this kind of stuff. See what's going on around you. You know you're safe for a while because you obviously moved over to the Terror Spawn. At least use this cooldown. But in general, if this is happening and you're a warrior, and you've got all your cooldowns, and everybody else is just rocketing ahead of you by a good 30k DPS during Bloodlust, don't be the shit stain in the raid. Don't be the nice guy. It really doesn't pay off. Be a great player. I'll always teach you to do that. Be a great player. Don't always be a nice guy. Don't pass loot. Don't be the only guy in your raid who's saving cooldowns. Be openly vocal about it. If it's actually suffering your DPS and your raid leader's saying something like, your DPS is quite low, well, yeah, just be vocal. Why is everybody blowing fucking cooldowns if we're supposed to save them? Why is everybody fucking doing that? Get angry. You're a warrior, man. Get angry and get mean. Take some fucking names. Don't be the bitch. I always teach that. Don't be the bitch. So that's it. So, in summary, Bloodlust, tell your raid leaders to think about it. What are you doing with Bloodlust? Okay? What are you doing? What are you using it for? If you're just using it, oh, we can Bloodlust now to use it at the end of the fight, you're going to be using your cooldowns during that. Or at least understand, is that the plan? Okay, using it twice, I want to use my cooldowns here. Don't be the only guy not to blow your cooldowns, and be more aggressive with your play. If Death Blossom has 1 second left, you're going to be fine. Jump the fuck in there. Kick some ass and take some names. And don't sit on Bloodthirst for whatever you do. Get something rhythm going with that Bloodthirst. Get a nice tell me when if you're not sure about it or you're practicing. Get used to rolling that Bloodthirst constantly. Don't sit in fears. Don't do things like that. Okay, those are things that are really going to goof you up. Right. Are we ready to get stuck in? Okay. Last week in the workshop, we looked at a hunter, which baffled me completely. And because I couldn't work out what the problem was, from what I could see, our hunter friend had everything he needed to be a decent player. He had a good tell me whens of all his cooldowns. They just didn't seem to be happening. We weren't pressing them. We were getting hit by everything. We were running around spamming steady shot constantly. All these kind of things were going on. And while I talk about this, I'm just going to play this in the background. Why not? Why not? You don't need to send me... ooh, no, I don't want to show that yet. What can I treat you to? It's not there, it's there. Fuck it. Whatever. I wasn't planning on doing that. Hence, I have no time. And we didn't really understand what was going on. We made some sort of horrible comments. We saw some disco dancing. But he sent it to me again, which was awesome. He replied. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't. And he replied, and he was like, hey, and I actually know he's a regular in the stream, which is cool. And he was like, okay, I've done some of the things you said. It's helped me a lot. And it has. It has. Helped him a lot. He's actually noticeably much higher on the DPS. Good. And now we can kind of do kind of a normal workshop. A few notes that he sent me were that first of all, he plays on a Mac. I'm only joking. I know lots of you play on Macs. I know lots of you play on Macs. I read that and I thought, God, there's such a good joke there. And all the Mac guys are going to hate on me, right? Oh, he played that way because he was on a Mac. That makes sense. All that kind of stuff. But yeah, we won't go down that road. It's too fucking obvious. Oh, yeah. Like Budak said, oh, that's what it was, played on a Mac. Yeah, we're not going to go down that road. But what he also told me is that he's not got a best PC. And it's kind of laggy. He said sometimes I miss things because I'm kind of delayed. And we will kind of see evidence of that, actually, which is pretty cool. But now we can actually see something start to come to light. Is he he's trying to improve. Desperately trying to improve. And already made noticeable huge gains, which is awesome to see. I love it when the guys in the workshop actually follow up with me. Instead of, I know a lot of you send me an email. Thank you, it helped me a lot. I always like to see a follow-up video, even if I'm not going to use it in a workshop, just to see exactly how cool things went and noticeable differences. I think it inspires others. The main reason for that is it inspires others to actually send in a workshop if we can see a noticeable improvement. So we're going to look at the UI. It's had some tweaks, and maybe you'll remember it. And off we go. Off we go. I have a lovely, luscious drink of water. Oh, I'm so healthy. Oh, my God. Oh, that's delicious. I'm going to play it until the funny thing happens. Ooh, 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 let's all do the annihilate. Boom! Yeah, yeah. Okay. Get that Mac transmog. Oh, damn. Oh, my goodness. That's so big, big text. I actually think it's quite a low-resolution monitor, so I'm not too bothered about the size of text. We can certainly agree on that. Ba-ba-ba. Let's have a look. Holy shit, that substing. So big. Too long to start DPSing. Yeah, we're talking about the UI right now. Dem Devo still awareness, still tip top. Okay. UI is actually fine. The good thing about everybody sort of pointing obvious errors in play is that the UI is actually pretty fine. Which is a good thing. Okay. So we're going to actually play through the fight. It's not something I ordinarily do, but it's the best way. I'm just going to kind of talk over it. Because you guys can pay attention, kind of thing. I think it's the best way, because there's quite a lot to go through, which is what we need to do. So we're going to start 140. So you can see there's his gear, 472, which is fine. Here we go. Now, did you see that delay? That isn't my stream. It's not your stream or anything like that. I'm just going to show that again. Just to prove. This is the best thing ever. This, hey, we know you're getting better, but this is the best thing ever, right? Because you're not huntard. Because you're checking, the growl isn't on. You, my friend, get one of those. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay. Off we go. Oh, you should see, that's actually the lag when he pulls. I haven't really seen anything like that before, I've got to be honest. But it starts from there, 145, and 4 seconds later we actually get the fight. So there is actually, there's not a lie there. There's actually some lag going on. Okay, so first things first. He starts DPSing. Yes, there is a delay when the DPS starts. We obviously want to point out straight away that we're steady shotting before we've used Dire Beast, and we're certainly now running into that situation again where we focus capped. Now, I know I said I was going to play this through, but what the hell, I like talking. We've run into this situation where we're focus capping again. Now, what he did say in his notes is that he'd never, ever given a second thought to being focus capped. He was always too worried about other things. And we've been there, haven't we? We forget the basics. A lot of us have done that. We just saw a Fury Warrior then doing endgame content, just forgetting to Bloodthirst sometimes, just sitting on it. We forget the basics. And one of the big things hunters forget is I've got so many buttons to press now, compared to, say, Kata. is that I never gave a second thought to focus. I just pressed focus when I wasn't really pressing anything else. And it's like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. That's fine and dandy. So we go on. So we will see some focus capping going on. But we've still got Murder of Crows here. Let's press this button. But we're certainly getting better. We're getting better doing some stuff. But we run into this situation again where we're just sat on things like aim shot. Now, you can see what happened there is he's incredibly worried about getting hit by the phalanx, or whatever it's called. The phalanx. And he starts running around everywhere just to make sure he avoids it. That's what's going on there. And during that movement process, all our cooldowns came back, and we didn't really do anything about it. There's the flanking orders. Phalanx. It is a phalanx. Fuck you guys. And there he goes. You see he's running everywhere to try and avoid it. You can see it coming. But during this process, you can see everything goes to shit. So it's a bit of movement practice needed there. There we finally get the Murder of Crows going. And then we do settle into quite a nice process, which is getting everything pressed. Now, I finally discovered one of the major problems. I'm so pleased with myself. I actually discovered it. Same problem we had on with the Feral Druid a little while ago. We had a Feral Druid workshop a couple of weeks ago that ran into the same problem. Spamming these buttons. Spamming them like a motherfucker. And what happens there is we start pressing all the wrong shit. In general, you press the one that's readily available. There's only one of those three buttons which is definitely always available, and that's steady shot. And we run into this situation a lot. We're kind of doing this process on the keys, and you can see it quite clearly, is that we're just pressing these three. And at least most of the time, one of them is always available, and it's steady shot. Hence, that leads us to doing a shitload more steady shots. You shouldn't be spammy, especially hunters. You don't need to be spammy. You've got nice regular cast times of like 1.5 seconds or so. 1.5 seconds is a long time not to press something. It's very chill. Very, very chill. And so we're nice and clear now. Now, there's a couple of things that are going to go on wrong here. Obviously, we've got our DPS cooldowns on. Now, rapid fire never, ever gets used, which is kind of sad. We're just spamming in steady shot. You can see our focus is capped again. Well, we're getting better. We're actually on the DPS meter now, which is a vast improvement. We weren't anywhere on the DPS meter last time. We're definitely pressing a lot more cooldowns than we had before. We disco a hell of a lot, or you're discoing a lot. You're focusing a lot on constantly moving. But you can see our cooldowns are being pressed pretty regularly. We're still steady shotting a lot. Obviously, a lot more opportunity for arcane shots and various other things. We're still steady shotting away. Steady shot, steady shot, steady shot. That steady shot button's going to get broken, man. Go and get broken. Where's the DPS meter? Good call. Ali, like a boss. Lady boss. I'll go over the map. Hello. Hey. So you can see the DPS meter. At least he's on there. That lovely lady. Yeah, the moving is something that's either something you're doing out of being relaxed, there's finding the rapid fire. I don't understand why all the movement goes on. I really don't know. But there is a hell of a lot of movement going on. You're almost like on ice. It's like you're ice skating around. And I don't know whether you're constantly thinking about moving around. Now, I did say position, 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 position. I kind of feel guilty for some of the things that have come here. Position, 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 position. I say that a lot. That doesn't mean you need to move. Okay? It's considering your position. That's what I mean by position, position, position. You need to think about it all the time. You need to consider your position. But I mean that you consider your position. Am I in a good place? Yeah. Stay where you are. Chill. You're fine. That's it. That's what I mean. Oh, am I in a good position? Oftentimes the answer is yes, because you considered your position before. And then it's the same thing again. Am I in a good position? Yeah, I am. Okay, I'm going to fucking stay here. We don't need to disco around all over the place, because it definitely feels like you're on ice skates a lot of the time, which is never cool. Never cool to be on ice skates all the time. So we continue in this manner. There's some interesting things coming up. I want to get to after this boss. So again, we're sitting on a little bit of cooldowns like Dire Beast and things like that. We're just kind of sat there. Now, I noticed something interesting. Does anybody see the keybind on Dire Beast? Can we see what it's on? I don't know if you guys can see that because my mouse is going to keep covering it up. Okay, fuck it. It's not going to work. Keybind for Dire Beast is J. Now, I assume MacBooks still use a QWERTY style of keyboard. If they do, J is really far away. Like, way over there. Now, I'm not a pro with MacBooks. I believe it was a MacBook. Is a MacBook relatively good for a J? Kind of okay with a thumb? Kind of. Oof. It's not for me, because that means... J means me like twisting... It's like I'm mongoloiding my hand to do that. A J just... no. A J's not working for me. If I were to do a J, I actually rotate all my hand away. Oh, I pulled the mic out. Mic on? Mic is back on. Good. If a J means I'm going to... Difference. Where's the J on an ASCII keyboard? Mic's on working. Cool. I don't know. But I noticed that Diabeast is the one that's regularly not being pressed. And then I saw that it was on J. And I either, in order to press J, I'd have to twist all my hand, or I have to literally take my hand off the keyboard, move that motherfucker down a bit, and then press a button. And... oh, no, okay. Okay, yeah, I can see it. So, yeah, to do a J, that really bothers me. It bothers me quite a lot. So the J thing, I don't know. It's interesting to me that the Diabeast is the thing that gets pressed the least. But it is also seemingly the most weird key binding you have. Whether or not that's actually an effect, maybe. I'm not saying it definitely is. There goes the J, finally. I'm just trying to see what the other ones. Like, Arcane Shot is D. Aim Shot is G. I'm fine with G. Everything else is in a good place. Besides Diabeast. And that's the one that's seemingly causing you the most hassle with actually pressing it on cooldown. I guess I can see that you're pressing this. Now, come on, Hunters. Firestar, if you don't get this, I'm going to laugh at you. Where's Firestar? Is he gone? Where's his Hunters? Where's the Hunters at? Come on, Hunters. Hunters. Yay! Mugged is all over this shit today. Pet died ages ago. Fucking ages ago. Absolutely fucking ages ago. Pet died. Shit. Now, Hunters in the chat. How many Hunters are out there? If you're a Hunter, or you play a Hunter, give me an eye. Give me a big holler if you play a Hunter out there. Because I'm going to teach you something very, very vital. Me, come on, be honest. Alt Hunter, come on. Alts is fine. Yep. Okay. Repeat after me. This is my pet. Without my pet, I am nothing. Without me, my pet is nothing. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Okay? Remember that. Without your pet, you're fucking nothing. You are nothing without your pet. Okay? Fucking say it. Say it over and over and over again. Remember that shit. Okay? It's very important that you understand that when your pet dies, you're fucked. Your DPS is fucked. Go home. Oh, you're a hunter with no pet? Great. I'm a warrior with no weapons. Fuck off. Go home. You're bad. But yeah, we need... This is... your pet health bar? Too damn small. Because you don't know if your pet is dead. Sucks. It actually dies way back here. You know what's really sad though? All the gangsters killed it. Your pet got all fucked up. Your pet got all fucked up by the rest of the raid. This is really sad. If this was me, I would be of the opinion after seeing the whole raid just gangster my pet that as soon as Maddening Shout was coming, I would bring my pet back. Again, we're doing the full focus disco. Backpedaling. Do. The moonwalk back in position. We're good. Maddening Shout. Now, as soon as I saw this, look, everyone, fuck that pet up. Oh! Wolfie got fucked. Wolfie got fucked. Wolfie got seriously fucked up. That's brilliant. Wolfie It's killed so fast. I love this. I love this. It made me laugh so fucking hardcore. It's like, Wolfie! Where's the steady shot? Okay, so our pet dies at 5:38, which is terrible. Hey! Name the film where Wolfie was a legitimate pet. It was actually used as a fake name for a dog in a devious phone call. +1 if you get it. Okay. So it goes on like that. So obviously now we're a hunter without a pet. Oh, Sitting Warrior taking some names. Good man, Sitting Warrior. What a guy. Is Wolfie okay? Yeah, Wolfie's fine. Terminator 2. Classics. I bet nobody can quote Predators. What does that tell you? Arnie for the win. So our pet dies, and we haven't noticed for like an outrageous amount of time. If you actually look, it's at like 5:38 that we actually lost the pet. If we go on to where Wolfie comes back to life. There's Wolfie. Okay, so it's like 2 minutes. It's like 2 fucking minutes. Wolfie's down, man. Wolfie's down for like 2 minutes. So our DPS is obviously turned to shit at this point, which is fucking terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. Or is it? Or is there something worse about to happen? I said Predators, not Predator. Different movies. So Wolfie's back in the action. I just want to give you a feel for what happened here. Is Wolfie? He's back up. Not yet, not yet. Wolfie's still down. Disco in near that pillage. Keeping it real. Keeping it real. Getting those steady shots back up. Gotta get it. Oh, we've noticed he's dead. Heart of the Phoenix. Boom! Wolfie is back in the fucking game. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arrgh! Maddening shout. Bye, Wolfie. Bye, Wolfie. Oh, no! We just fucking rezzed him. Dude, I felt your pain. Oh, my God. We went a whole 2 minutes without Wolfie. We rezzed him just in time for him to get killed again. Oh, no. Oh, okay. All right, let's get a little bit fucking serious. Let's get a little bit serious. Okay, so first things first, you're much better at actually using your cooldowns. I need to get this wrapped up. You're much better at actually using your cooldowns. This disco movement thing, we need to be very careful of. I'm not sure why you're doing it, but it's going to get you in trouble. If you keep moving like this all the time... this is brilliant. I'll just let you watch. Like a boss. Runs through the flanking orders. He believes the text will protect him. I'm going to play it again. Here it comes. Flank those orders, baby. Flank those orders. Let's do it in slow-mo. It's okay, though. Did a night elf flip. Only kidding. Okay, so moving on. Big thing that you need to do is stop moving around all the time. Stop moving around all the time. It's going to goof you up. You're going to end up moving into situations that you're not really prepared for. Try and stand still. I know you've got to consider your position all the time, but again, consider that your position is actually quite good. It's a good thing to consider. On top of that, you got much better with your cooldowns. Really consider, is Dire Beast on an awkward cooldown? Is that the case? Is Dire Beast on an awkward cooldown to the point where you're actually not able to press it while you're doing your other things? And focus all the time. Think about your focus. You could be doing probably 70 or 80 more arcane shots in this fight. Easily 70 to 80 or something crazy. Your focus is so overcapped all the time that there is a multitude more spells you can fire at the boss to do damage. Remember, Steady Shot does shit damage. It does. Steady Shot does shit damage. It's not like a fallback option. Steady Shot does shit damage. It's just bad. We only use it to regenerate focus. That's all it's for, is to regenerate focus and move it back up. That's it. So if we have full focus, we need to use it somewhere else. We need to use it somewhere else. We need to use that focus. All we're using Steady Shot for is to get focus to fire off spells. That's it. If it's over full, we goofed up. So we really need to concentrate on that. Please, for the love of God, increase the size of your health on your pet or move it somewhere more noticeable. We cannot afford to have our pet on the floor for that much. If the pet is dying to a certain situation, like Maddening Shout, that's where you need to think about, oh, Maddening Shout's coming. I need to pull my pet back. It's also going to teach you to actually pay more attention to your boss timers, and you're going to be more comfortable because you're getting a good warning of what's happening. But a vast improvement on last time. It was a huge improvement. Absolutely huge improvement. So I'm going to take his... Oh, look at that. 4 minutes. I have 4 minutes left. 4 minutes remaining. I'm going to take any questions about today's daily or any questions you want. I wish to remind you that our emails for Preach Gaming have changed. The Gmail account still exists and will continue to exist for the next 6 months. But if you wish to contact me, the best way to do it is preach@preachgaming.com. If you wish to speak to Ghost, it's ghost@preachgaming.com. Genji@preachgaming.com. Delore@preachgaming.com. Things exist for those of you who are capable of handling multiple email addresses, such as drama@preachgaming.com and workshop@preachgaming.com. Things like that exist now, okay? And that is purely going to be enforced in about the next 6 months. So I will need to move away from Gmail. It's not very professional. And plus we've got other emails being correlated around the back end. All these kind of things now exist. It'd be very, very nice if you could start using them. Don't worry. You can still send things to the Gmail account. It's fine. I'll still receive them. But I will get the other ones faster. Simple as. Okay. Is my mic's... Sorry. I'll have a look at it later. I obviously can't hear myself right now. Cuts out again. Oh, maybe I need to clean it again. Did Blizzard servers trouble? I'm hearing a lot about the servers going down. Okay, I don't know about that yet though. Preach, when I'm recording for World of Logs, do I have to delete the text file after each use? The actual interface, it will erase it anyway. But I have known it to not erase it. It is a pain in the ass, but live logging can be a little bit better. But it should delete it afterwards. Just double check after each log. Has it done it? If you're comfortable it's doing it all the time, then leave it be. If it's not doing it, then maybe find out why, and then you'll be fine later on. Do I think Method will get the world first clear? I hope so. I spoke to a few of the lads this morning. If they were pumped, if they were ready to go. Some of them were yes, some of them were no. Purely because they felt their class wasn't going to be as advantageous as they would like in the race. But they're all confident going in, which is nice to see. I will say the best reply I had was, I hope the servers don't come up yet while waiting for the Heroic Raid progression to start because they were finishing Heart of the Swarm on Brutal. Heroic Raiding, guys. Heroic Raiding. 25% nerf to Corruption and Doom. Sad. Don't be sad. It's balanced. It's fine. Warlocks are destroying. Affliction Warlocks are still absolutely destroying in Throne of Thunder so far. And that's pretty good. Servers right now because monks were doing 2 million DPS with spinning crane kick on turtles. I think all the streams will be rebroadcast, or they should be. No Heroic Raider has yet broken the golden rule, which is essentially don't stream anything. Okay, don't stream anything. That's pretty good. Yeah, confidence. The confidence video I put out actually took surprisingly well. I was glad at the emails you guys sent me. I had some really interesting emails over the last day or so, purposely pointing at, one, the confidence video. A lot of you actually just went ahead and did something off that. I was kind of 50-50 on releasing that video, but you guys took well to it, which was really nice, especially those of you who sent me private messages. I get a lot of emails I'm not allowed to read out because people ask me not to, saying that you actually went ahead and did something, which is pretty cool. We are still sites saying the ways DK's gem. Why are all sites saying change the way DK's gem? I haven't looked into DK's yet. Oh, what videos am I going to be redoing? Some videos are staying the same because the gameplay hasn't changed. I have a list here of the next guides I'm going to do. You guys can sort of put a finger on which ones you prefer. Arcane, Mage, all the monks need redoing, which is great. The Combat Rogue, the Protection Paladin I need to do again. The Ret Paladin needs looking at as well. So Arms Warrior's up there. Fury Warrior is on the list. Prot Warriors stayed essentially the same, so I've no need to do that. Again, as people asking me for guides, if your class didn't change a lot, I'm not doing a guide. I'm not doing a guide for it. It's pointless. It's exactly the same as in 5.0. Not every class got dramatically changed, or even changed at all. Some of them just got damage buffs. There's no need for a guide to say you got a 10% damage buff. Unholy DKs essentially stayed the same as well. I'll have a little bit of a look at it. Disc gameplay is going up tonight. I showed it a little preview just before the daily started. That video is done and will be uploaded this evening. Resto DK. Arcane not good at the moment. No, but they changed. They changed. So I'm going to be doing that. What was the Shadow Priest buff? The only change to the Shadow Priest is really the nerf to Mind Spike Glyph and the Insanity change. It's debatable which one is actually better. Some people are liking Insanity. Personally, I've tried it a couple of times and it involved a lot of redotting to get the best out of it. I'm not convinced I was doing it perfectly, but I thought I was doing pretty well. Whether or not it's a DPS increase seems to be determined by the fight. Which again comes down to what we talked about earlier in the workshop, is a lot of DPS talents can now be determined by how does the fight work. Not only length, but what am I actually doing in this fight, which is pretty cool. Contest videos on my YouTube channel, it's look forward to the workshop. Cool. Minus 25% to Shadow of Pain. That's just it's obviously not a gameplay change. Okay, Shadow Priest and Affliction Warlocks are doing very, very well. Okay, a lot of people send me emails. Can you send a workshop? Of course you can. Send it in. I'm always on top of the damage. I'd like to improve. Again, if you want to send me a workshop and you're doing really well, but you're not sure if you're doing the best you can do, send it me. I might reply via email. It might not be something that I show on the actual workshop, but I will still help you. I still help you in the background. That's fine. Disc Priest gameplay is coming up in about an hour or so. Drama tomorrow. No, it's a normal daily tomorrow. I wanted to talk about the Disc Priest. And also we'll be seeing how the heroic raid progression is going and other things tomorrow. I also wanted to follow up on the discussion about lack of 5-mans. We kind of touched on it briefly as it was fresh news yesterday. I want to let the people who watch on YouTube get their feedback in, and then we'll discuss it again tomorrow. So if you have got anything to add to that discussion, drop it onto the YouTube video for yesterday's daily, and we'll be talking about that tomorrow as well. Have you followed the Green Fire stuff? It's harder than people expected. Can I do this? Can I do this without pasting his name? Maybe. One moment. Un momento. Oh, I'm going to have to put this into the chat. But these are the kind of messages I have been receiving. I would like to say that I have done the Green Warlock Fire scenario twice now. Yeah, I know some people are finding it harder, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. But yeah, I've got several Skype messages revolving the Warlock Green Fire quest, and will I do it for people, which I have, which is fine. When I get in the new mic, I don't know. I thought this one was fixed, so I don't know. I thought this was fixed. Okay, any other questions before I go? What do you think about mages? Are they fun to play? I love my mage. Besides the level 90 talents, mages are great fun, and they're fine. I have no issue with them whatsoever. My issue, I have a minor issue. I believe Ghost is streaming Transmogs tonight. I believe Ghost is actually streaming in about an hour and 20 minutes. He can't come here. Apparently Suzanne is ill and it's contagious. So obviously as Emma is pregnant, he can't do that. He can't come here. So he is streaming tonight, I believe, doing Transmog runs. I might be tagging along. There's a couple of Transmogs I would like to get just for my characters. I thought I'd tag along. So I might tag along with you guys in about an hour and a half. I haven't chosen a new main yet. What programs do you recommend to make the workshop bids? OBS seems to be the most popular one. Open Broadcast Software, I believe it's called in its full title. It's completely free, and it does everything you need it to do. So I think that's the best. I have done a video on my YouTube channel of how to submit to the workshop, and it's called How to Submit to the Workshop. So you can search that and you can find it very quickly. Did you decide? No, much class to play. Transmog is online for about 7:30. Am I going to raid this patch? Hopefully. Hopefully. I'm more and more aware that how much time Way the Warrior 2 is taking me. It might be the case of that is just more important and more enjoyable, but I want to raid as soon as possible as a relaxer. Not so much as to do guides or anything like that, but more for me to enjoy the game in a different way. As much as I like having the freedom in the evenings to go to the gym, be with Emma, whatever, I still miss raiding quite a lot. And this is the first raid tier I haven't taken part in some fashion, and I am feeling that. I am feeling this is the first raid tier ever since the game came out in vanilla that I haven't taken part in some fashion, which is terrible. And it's one of the best ones yet. Of course. I haven't done a video of the Green Fire scenario. I'm sure you can find them everywhere. If it's not something that really puts a sort of spin on it for me, you remember I don't release videos for YOLO swag views. So I don't like doing that. Go to the gym. What's a gym? I lift, bro. You got a lift, man. Got a lift. Okay, yeah, the EE server's apparently down, which I don't know how that will affect the race. I'm sure there'll be mass whining. We should all be pretty good. All right, guys, I'm done for today. In fact, I did 6 minutes longer. Thank you for the workshop. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it today. And remember, if you wish to submit to the workshop, just upload a video to YouTube and send it to Preach Gaming. Oh, no, what am I saying? Oh, my God. Send it to workshop@preachgaming.com. I can't make it easier than that, right? Can't make it easier than that. Send it to workshop@preachgaming.com. All right, I've got to remember to change the emails. All right, guys, thank you very much. I will see you maybe in an hour and a half with Mr. Ghost. If not, I will see you tomorrow. Also, a reminder: I'm live streaming all day on Friday. On Friday, I'm doing I want to do live streaming once a week, so I'm going to be live streaming all day on Friday from 9 a.m. Okay, so any of you who are around, I will see you then. Goodbye.